Okay. Um, Good day, everyone, and thank you for joining this session. So today we'll be working on Google Docs, and Google Docs is just one of the many Google's products. And it's basically just an free online word processor. Okay. So I'll be sharing my screen now. So tell me what you can see on my screen. Okay, can everybody see my screen? Yeah, you should see it now.
Yes, we can.
Yes, you can.
Yeah,
Oh, thank you. Okay. So, if there are any questions on why I'm presenting, you just comment and just ask. Cover. And this is what I feel is sufficient for us to cover. So first of all, we'll start with how to create your Google Docs. Where exactly it is in the first place? Even like to make um moving documents and a lot more other details. Okay, so the first thing, like I mentioned, Google Docs is just an online web processor. So you can basically it's available on the cloud and you can use it. So if you have if you already use a Google account, you have a Google account, first you have logged in your Google account, show maybe Google Chrome or any other web browser, and you come to this three dots, you can see Google Docs here. So it's just one of the many products. You have Google Docs, which is very similar to Microsoft Word, Google Sheets, Google Slide, and a lot more other products. So I click on Google Doc and it takes me to the home. So this is Google Docs, this is the home of Google Docs, or this is the website that takes us to Google Docs. So first of all, you have a different lot of templates which you can use depends on the kind of documents you are trying to build. You can start from a you can also see documents you have created. So these are your recent documents. You can also always filter by whether it's owned by anyone or by me. By me means like it's your account, so documents you created or documents that are not owned by you. So you were shared, these documents were shared with you as well. You can also see that. Yeah. You can always change the view, either list view, so it will be a list or a grid view as well. Okay, so the first thing you got to do is start with a blank document. Yeah. But the problem I have with coming here to create a document is that it puts these documents anywhere on your Google Drive. So all your Google, so everything you create, your Google Sheets, Google Docs, they all end up in Google Drive. And so it just places it anywhere in Google Drive. So I'll actually advise that you open Google Drive first of all. When you're creating a Google Doc, open Google Drive, and if you want to keep them in folders, you create a folder for it. So for example, I created this folder just a few minutes or an hour ago. Yeah, by 8 o'clock. You just go put this folder and I'll put everything there. So right click on new folder. So just like your how you have different folders, you can actually put these documents in different in compartments so that you can actually be so for example like so since once you start working with various companies, you might actually want to put everything in a more defined way. So like I have different documents for different companies. So actually help you in organizing Google Docs, yeah, and you have created your Google Doc. So it's exactly the same thing here. There's no difference. Another way to create open a new docs is by simply typing docs.new and automatically creates a new docs for you also. Doc.new. Okay, so I'm just going to delete this. Stay loading. So once I created the Google Docs, you can always rename it here by giving it a name. So let's call it uh, Google Docs 1. You can, and if maybe you made a mistake, you didn't really want to create one, you can always move it to trash. And after 30 days, it gets deleted from your trash, except you go there to delete it. Okay, so I'm just going to delete this. So this one was the one I created in this folder. So I refresh this page and I should see it here. Okay, let me give it a name. So this is okay, so I'm just going to delete it as well. Okay, so this was one I created in the Google Docs homepage. So let's say, for example, you create a Google Docs in the Google Docs homepage, or you use the docs.new hyperlink to create one. You can always come here to move your documents. Okay, this was. So let me give it a name first of all. So docs name. You give it a name, and I come here to move it to that particular folder. So this Friday, and I move it here. So even though you made a mistake, you can always undo it. Even though you made a mistake by creating a document in a where it's not supposed to be, you can always move the document as well. And if I come here, refresh, so yeah, that's it here, document. So it's here now. Okay. So that's just simply how to create a Google Docs. So you can always rename your Google Doc. You can move it from one folder to a different folder. Even though it's on another folder in your Google Drive, you can always move it to a different folder so you can keep tabs of what documents you are creating and actually better organize your work as well. So the next thing again is making a copy. So whenever you go to file, you see make a copy. What make a copy does is it allows you to make a copy of this document. So I usually make a copy for, so for example, like I write for Sematech and they give me this brief of what they want to do. And I actually don't want to write on the actual brief. I want to write it on the document, a different document, and I'll move it to this. So you can do a make a copy so that you don't really, so any changes, any stuff you do appears on your copy. So I do all my editing or writing here, and I can actually copy the work and move it here where I can collaborate with the team on that other work. So that's what my copy does. If I've written anything there, it's also going to automatically appear on my copy. Simply that's how you do your copy and paste of a document on your laptop as well. So that's simply what make a copy does. And the another one problem that I know most people don't like using Google Docs is, so companies like using Google Docs when they find that is collaborative is free as well. Like Microsoft Word has way more features compared to Google Docs, all right. But Microsoft Word you need to have a license. And if maybe the company does not have a Microsoft license or they don't want to get Microsoft license, Google Docs is a very great alternative because it does basically at least the fundamental of everything you need to do with a word processor. Plus can help you to resolve, can help you undo that. So Microsoft, because Google Docs is usually a very great calculator, it's mostly used for by companies because you can actually use the documents and when I'm working on it, I could share it with, let's say, not with anybody on the squad, and the person can also work on that document with me as well. So, and but the problem is, I know most people also don't like using work, especially yeah, I've heard is that they said it's online, so you always have to be on the internet to use it. But it seems that that's actually not true. You can actually make your documents available offline, and you can actually set it up. So the first thing you can go to the Docs home, you click on this, you go to your settings, and you just on this. So right now I'm disabling it offline. I click back here, okay, and I enable offline. Disable it. Taking a while. So I just yeah. So now that it's done, I come here and tick on this reload, and now it's available offline. So now I can use it even though there's no, I'm not connected to the internet. I can work on the document, work on any documents available. Yeah, okay. Another way you can also do that is if you only want to make a particular document offline. So for example, this doc new that I created, I don't want to make this document online. Offline. I don't want to make any other document offline. I could just come here and click on available offline. So now I can use this even though I'm not going to the internet. So you don't have to always be online to use it. You can always also do it again by, sorry, everything's loading because of a settings change. And Okay, yes. So you can also change it by coming. Let's say, yes, governance. But there's also yes, it's make available offline. You can also click here to make a document offline. And once you make a document offline, you see this cloud option. So it tells you that your documents can be used offline. So you can any of the method you pick works. And whenever you don't have an internet connection, you can work on it. So you can actually work on the documents without you being connected to the internet. And the minute you are connected to the internet, it's going to save whatever changes you have made on that document will be now be available on it's like to merge with the online copy as well. Okay, great. So those are like three ways to make a document offline. So you don't always have to be connected to the internet. So you don't have to worry that maybe you don't have to worry about you always being online to the internet. And the reason why I would actually tell you to use Google Docs instead of using Microsoft Word, especially when you're not sure the other person has a license, is because you can it's actually collaborative. There's just one copy of the documents. So during the assignment feedback, someone sent me Microsoft Word to present on to make changes on. And the problem was if maybe he sent me this Microsoft Word document, I'll go to my computer, I have Microsoft license, I make the changes. I have to send it to you. So now there are now two versions of it. There's a version of it on my computer. There's another version of it which I've sent to you now. And you have to open that document eventually. I mean it's sent to me, that means now I have there's a version one, version two. And there's that kind of like different offline, different I don't know if you get what I mean. There are different versions of this document. And we have to always make sure that we name the document that we're sending. So we all know that this is the latest document. But with Google Docs, everything happens on one of these documents. So I don't really have to think so much about what version I'm on. And even if I want to see the version change, I can always revise the previous version without us being worried about what version we have. So Google Docs have this version history, which is that calendar. You see the version history of this document. So I've not done much on this document. So the version history is pretty empty. But let's take a look at this. Okay, so this was a article on using um, about that card for the lay periods, and you can so this document there are a lot of changes in it. So let's say for example I changed this. So it's off with the I wrote CLE and it saves the document for me, and I come here to the version history. So and I come here, you see the version history, and it shows me every change that was made. So this was a change made currently right now, April something. I can always give it a new name. So like new change. If I want to give this version history a particular name, I can as well also, and here I can see these are ones that were made by these periods, and I can see this was not here. You had to edit. I can come here to look at what it was edited one of two. So this was the first that was edited. So the second thing was also edited as well. I could also come back here and also will see what particular edits. So there was 7 edits and all was edits. Okay, so added the space here. I added something new take away and you can always come here to restore this version. If for example the made a change and you want to go back to the previous version, you can always come and restore this particular version of the document. So it's actually in all your all your documents. You just click on these documents, click on that arrow, and you can go into what was changed, what was not changed, and everything. Yes. So that's on working documents and font size. So
Are
another
they
thing again
fire?
is yeah, hello.
They fire. Good morning. How much can I buy?
Oh,
Bread is 200, Adi. When they come.
oh patience. So another thing again is, so during the assignment I was sent, I noticed a lot of people their font size were different. This could be either that because
150. 200.
oh, patience. Okay. And this could be because they're probably from different websites or they wrote it on a different word processor and I tried to move it from there to Google Docs or just like that. But the point is that yeah, there are different font sizes. So it's great that you have those one particular font size on your document, and you can do that by simply coming here and changing your font or giving it italics, bold, underline, or change the color. So let's say, for example, I come here to write what's a container. So let me say I write this. Okay. And I want to change the font size of it. All I have to do is select the document and I give it a font size. I can increase the length if I want, reduce it. You could also make it, we'll come to this very soon. You can also make it bold, or you can make only a particular part. So for example, let me say I want this part to be bold, and I can make it italics or even underline it. Though most time you don't really use that. And you can even give it a different color as well. This is not readable. Yeah. And all of that. You can also highlight a particular color. So the difference between highlighting and the text colors, the text color colors the particular text. So like imagine you're using a red pen to write this. That's like what it does. But so let's say for example I want to highlight developers. And this is what that one does. It's like use a marker on it. So it's like the text box, that particular box also gets the color beside, but the text is still the black. It's just the environment around it that changes in color. That's the preparation in this too as well. Okay. Then let's come to having a summary page. So when it comes to having a summary page, all your Google Docs, you have this tree, like which shows the document outline. Document outlines here, you got a summary page. So the summary page is more about like the summary page of your document. So you can always have it. So let me say we're having, so we're going to write a glossary about containers. That's what this is going to be about. And this is my summary page. So that's just the summary. So it just tells me what this document is about. It's usually very good when you're collaborating with a lot of people and you want to always give them a summary of what exactly is happening. You can always re-edit the summary. And you go on to add, for example, Dockers. Okay. So that's this thing. So another thing again is you can always change. I think I forgot to mention this, the line spacing of your documents. So if your document you feel is too in, like this everything here, you can always come here and change it, whether you want it to be a single, so that means like a space single or 1.5 or this makes it a lot more readable or even double spacing. So this will increase the document. So it depends on what you want. Or you should add space before a paragraph. So if you just add a space between this paragraph and this next paragraph, which was not seen here, but now you can see the difference. Or if it's space, add space after a paragraph, does similar stuff. So I can go back to 1.5. And you can always do keep lines together, prefer single lines, or keep it the next. So it depends on how you want to space your document. Or you will keep lines together. So it depends on actually how you want your document. So what the point is that you make the more readable your document is, the more it will be easier for someone to read through it. Like what your document is readable, someone can easily like glance through it and have an understanding of what exactly you're writing about. Just with readability. And when something doesn't look very readable, even no matter how simple or no matter how very written it is, it's like it does make the person feel like I need to pop this down to actually read. It's very simple, it's very written, but like the person can say this entire when the person starts the work. When the person depends, oh, it's still very readable, but I mean, like you cannot prevent that initial of the person thinking that I have to literally sit down and take my time with the work. Even though maybe the work was just very written and any edits it in the first place. So let's make sure your font size, the colors, the spaces consistent to help with readability as well. So let's go to headings, H1, H2, and H3 headings. Okay. So the thing with headings is headings help your documents in beside SEOs. It also help you beside your SEOs. If you have proper headings, it helps with SEOs. If you have proper headings, also helps with again readability. And also helps me know like you have left this topic to go to another topic. So what I mean is like now reading about containers, the virtual containers, go to container versus virtual machines, you go to benefit of containers. Like if there was no heading, for example, let me say this. So if I copy this design here, I can use the format painter, which you're saying this uses painting, and I can copy this actual work. Let me do it with this one. Okay. So this page factory. I come here to page factory. So let me say, for example, is there was no difference between this two and this two. So if I copy this and I click on this and I come here and I paste this, like person would just think this is also, it's also part of this whatever topic this was. And instead of knowing that this is a whole new topic, just because there was no heading. So that you had necessarily also use the reader the ability to know that you have left or you have stopped talking about this and you are moving on to something related but totally different. Okay. So the good thing about headings is, so let me say, for example, we are, so let me say, for example, we are writing this. So let's say I'm writing about this, or written about this, and come here, and let me use this, and I have this here. So everything comes out like this. This is coming as an heading. You can give your documents headings in your work by you select what you want to make as a heading and you click on this styling. So by default, your everything you write on Google Docs comes out as normal text. By normal text, we mean everything is just a normal flat blank of text. But we want to give our documents headings. So you select this and you come to an heading. So the one is just like your H1. Then you have your H2, your H3, and there are other options as well. You can also create your own default style, which has to do with font size, the size, and all of that. So you just have your title. So that's usually the main title of the work that you usually give your title. So let's say, for example, let me say, like here was our container. So let me say I want the container to be my title. So I select this and I make this my title. I also select it here and I also make this my heading one. And I come here and I want to make this heading two. And I select this other one. I also make it heading two. Okay. So that's what your heading does. And what this actually does, it also helps you with finding documents as well. Or if there's a want to make a edit to one particular document, this outline file that we did here also makes it easy again. It also tells us that this under this under this. So back to this. So I think we had subheadings. Where's the okay? So this, let's say for example, we don't want this to be a bullet point. We want this to actually be let me see the subheadings. Okay, subheadings just like how we have here for limitations of containers. Okay. So if I have this subheading, so let me say I copy this. Let's say we have this is what we have. And after my benefit, I have this. So if I want to make something to be under this, let's say this is now okay. So we have this, and I can also select this and always make it an heading tree. And you see, it comes out that this is under this. And if I want to go back to an heading 2, I just have to select that new file and I go back to heading 2. So what the reader is reading, the reader knows that okay, this is started with definition of containers, which is benefits, limitation. One of the limitation is this, and they have gone back to a new topic again. Resource management. So that's just what your editing does. It actually helps with readability. And actually, the editing does again is it also helps you to create a table of content during the user account or integrate the table of content. So you don't need to come here now and be writing. Okay, so we started with containers and then went to definitions. If you have done your edits properly, you wouldn't need to manually create the table of content. You just have to put the insert and you go to table of content and you can pick what kind of table of content you wanted. Dotted, you want plain text, it's plain text, just a plain text. If I want it to be dotted, it will come out as this dotted, or I want it to be linked. So the link means I click on it and I can go to that particular part of the document. So that's what it does. So it actually helps to automatically create a table of content for you without you manually writing or remembering what you wrote. So if you notice again, your title doesn't show up in your table of content. So only that will show up in your table of content are your edits, edit mode, edit 2, edit 3. And you just know how to use them. Yeah, most of the time you always do everything in edit, so and everything on that becomes an edit 3. Okay. So I've done edits. So next thing, let's look at numbering and bullets. Okay. So for numbering and bullets is very okay. So there's difference between your numbering system and your bullet system. And I noticed that during the assignment, Swapo made some mistakes in the sense that their numbers were not following a particular order. So you see number one, you see number one, you see number one again. And this also showed up during whether it's certain images. So if there's an image in between both of them, it comes out as number one, number two, number three. So before what's number and number, let's take a look at inserting images, link, inserting images, and let's look at this back to numbering bullets. Okay. So inserting images in your Google Docs. So to insert an image in Google Doc, you come with the insert tab. It seems that if you have to remember where all of this are, there are not a lot of buttons actually to pick from. Most of these buttons are also very self-explanatory and descriptive. So like the help, you should know that they help you get resources or how to use the product. Extensions are your add-ins or additional stuff you need. When it comes to tools, you're coming to tools that can help you get better. So like your spelling checks, your companion document, citation, explore, for voice typing, we'll come to this as well. Formatting has to do with the design or how your document appears. How is it formatted? Is it large? Is it big? The font size and all of that. You add in insert onto your document. So you're either inserting the picture, inserting links, inserting videos, footnotes, bookmark, a table of content as well. Then your view has to do with how you see the document. Yeah. So the modes. So are you in editing mode, suggestion mode? Will come to what all of this means. Then the print layout. Print layout. If I turn this off, it doesn't show the print layout. And if I come to show ruler is, if you use very familiar with Microsoft Word, you'll notice Microsoft has this line here that shows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that allows you to adjust your documents. I come to this show ruler and it shows me here. I can maybe all documents always start from here. So if you notice, so that's what show ruler does. And you have you can turn that off. Show the equation bar, the outline. Let me show this for you. Most of the time, when you have very long documents, it's always great that you have your outline showing here to help you navigate. Like this document, that outline, you have to scroll it down, but with the outline, I can literally jump from here to the new thread that I want to look at. Then your editing has to do with copy and paste, selecting all the primary place. Your file has to do with either you're creating documents, opening the one, sharing and emailing, downloading, and everything like that. So to insert an image, I just go to where I want to insert an image, click on insert, and I go to image. So you can either insert an image from a website, from a URL, from a camera, or even from your Google Photos as well. So I go to upload from my computer. I click on this and I pick the document I want. So for example, I want to insert this. I click on open. And the document is open there. So think the way the user guys or the software opens where it's showing the part also showing where they're taking photo, taking a screenshot of their phones, that the network, the same details, those also showing as well. So when you have inserted an image, you can actually crop the image on your Google Docs as well. You don't have to double click on the image. And if you notice, it changes from how it looks like. Like now you see it looks like this. I click on it, it shows like this. So I can resize it. Yes. But the minute I double click, you see it has a different kind of look. This allows me to crop it. So you don't need to push crop it on an external app. You can actually crop it right here on Google Doc. So let me start to crop it or just show this. Show the relationship tab in Power BI. I can come here, come here, come here, and it will come here. And I click on the image is still there. You right to click. I can see it. Maybe I want to in the future I want to add up maybe this to show. I can always do that. It's the documents now. This is the image. So you can always copy your image. You can replace the image if you made a mistake. Or you can simply delete it as well. You can move it about, like give it a color, you know, to do that. Or depends on you as well. So you can always edit your image right here. You just have to take a screenshot that is properly and add it all here. Okay. So then finally, let's look at links. So let's say links. So for you to do links, you just have to select the document you wanted. So microservice. We have a glossary on microservice. So microservice. Yeah, so microservice. So I just have to select, for example, I want to link it to this glossary. So I select the URL. I go to the particular glossary, click on this insert link. I also say insert link here on the start type, and so I should say link here, insert link as well. But you can also do it here. Click on it and you paste it here, and you apply. And now you have a link here. If you also does insert the link here, for example, whenever you set the link, it comes out like this. It's not yet clickable. What it means to consider you just leave, you use the space bar or the enter bar, it's changed to a link. You can always click on it and you see the edit link here, and you can change the text. So this is the URL that you should go to, and this is the text that should appear. So for example, let me say the text here should be check out microservices. I press apply. Even when you do something like this, you can always come back and also edit it. To edit the link as well. If you make a mistake in the link. If I don't want to come here, I want to instead of come straight this, I can remove everything here. Okay. So when I take the link, so you can always add links. So let's go back to numbering. So are there any questions? Okay, so let's go back to numbering. So the numbering that I mentioned is, so here we have this, which shows the benefit. So let me say I made my benefit is an H2 heading. And I'm talking about benefit. Benefit is this. I want to make this a numbering. It does, if I'm coming here, I can just press enter and I click on this more. And you see numbering. So this is numbering, this is your bullet points, and this is your checklist. So checklist is like open a new docs page. This is a checklist. Copy, and checklist allows you to like pick it. So for example, even this document that we have there, if I made a checklist, I always change it to a checklist. So you see, change this back to a checklist. The checklist, I can cross out what we have done. So I just take on what I want. That's what a checklist does. But your numbering does something different. So what your numbering does is, so I, for example, want to put benefit. One of the benefit is that they are lightweight. And I can come here, just click on numbering. And I go on this. So let me say, for example, portable. So if you insert an image here, so let me say, for example, I come here to insert an image from my computer. I add this image. I reduce it. I want to make it very small. Okay. And I come here to insert a new number. Most time you notice that it starts again from number 1 because of this image. So you just put in the next one that you want to use, and you go before the number you want to put the image, and you use your key, make an enter. You can go back again to remove it, and then now you can insert your image here now. So if you're having problem with the numbering, this is a trick you can use. And you see, stick to number 4. It takes to number 4. So the number is still going on even without the image interrupting the numbering as well. Okay. So you see this, it's also the same thing again for your bullet points. For bullet points, you can just click on here and you pick your bullets as well. And go to the next one. You can always skip a space either using the shift enter, or you can use that HTML which I mentioned. You come to your spacing and give it a space for this item. You can always do that to use control enter. Those are the two you can use. It's just know when it's the right time to use a number, when it's the right time to use a bullet points. Numbers actually is for when something has the order, a sequence. For like your step-to-step guides, your tutorial guides, use a numbering. When you're just giving list of benefits, list of items, use a bullet point, because it doesn't really matter if A comes before B, or if it doesn't really matter if this point comes before this first point or the second point comes before. It doesn't really matter. But when you're doing like a step-by-step guide, it matters what comes before which. You can't do this before this. That matters that you say 1, 2, 3. In that case, as well. And if you want to have a number under it, so for example, let me say I want to talk more about lightweight. I want to add more details about it. If you, this is supposed to be under lightweight, it's not like a different point. That's where this comes in, increase the tension or decrease it. You click on this and you see it turns to 1, 2, 3. And now you can put in 1. And you can come here. If you are going back, you can always go back. So that's simply how you can do your numbering systems again. Then I realized that I also skipped tables, how to create a table. So to insert a table in Google Docs, you simply go to where you want to insert it, go to insert and you see tables. The thing is that you actually use tables depends on how you are trying to pass in information. So, for example, you might think you might not use a table, but you might actually need a table. So, for example, yeah, buffer versus cat. So, that is a table for this. So, you're trying to compare two products, and that is a table to compare this versus this versus this of right side. So, that's where inserting tables actually comes in handy. And to insert the table, you come to insert, you click on table, and here you pick in your templates. So let's say, for example, I go with this. And now to add the new fonts. I didn't know that. You can always come here, insert a row below to insert one. You can also right click and you have different options as well. So you can insert a to the right. If you want to join these two together, I can select both of them and simply mesh them. If you want to give this a color, you can always select it and the same way give it a color. Border color, background color, I pick this. Always give it a color. So when you're setting an image, setting a table, you can just come. You can always set a picture, so a drawing, so every chart as well, a bar chart, especially if it's linked to a sheet as well. Every set an image to your document. Now, next one is copying and pasting. Copying and pasting. Okay. So copying and pasting is something that you might need to copy. So let's say, for example, your work processes, you write on a Google Docs and you move it to a different platform. Like Google Docs for collaboration, for you move it to a different platform. And you also want to maintain what you're writing. So if you notice, let me say, yeah, if you notice this one, this document appears is different from what this one appears, got the fonts and everything. So let's say after writing about this now, I want to add these containers versus virtual machines. And I want to also have the same look. If I select this now, copy it, so copy it, Ctrl C. I always come here and click on copy as well, Ctrl C. So I copied this. So I go to this document, and if I come here and I paste, you know something's going to happen. So you see, it has changed how the font size looks. It doesn't maintain. It maintained the font size of where it was copied from, and not where it's being pasted out. So in a situation where you want it to take the font size of where it's being pasted out, instead of doing a Ctrl C, you do a Ctrl C with a V. So Ctrl C V, which is like you paste it without the formatting. So you paste it with this new formatting. I click on this, and see it takes now the front side, the design of, or the front styling of where it's being pasted out. This is usually good when you're trying to copy something from one platform to another platform. You don't want to have to rewrite it or do a new formatting or start selecting and picking a style color. Just do a simple Ctrl Shift V. So there's copy and paste, and this copy and paste to format it again. We also looked at table of contents and version history. So next one is page setup. So the page setup, you might not really use it. Well, the page setup is here, page setup. So what page setup does is it changes the styling of your page. At the moment, you can see our pages are by portrait to main is just it's long and not very bright. You can change it from portrait to a landscape. And you click on OK. You see it looks now like it's wider. That's landscape. You can also change it from the paper size to a letter, or it depends on this is actually useful where you're going to print the document. Because not really need a lot of printing. So you might not really need all of this. You can also change the color of your page if you don't really like white color. So a different color. So for example, I want to make it blue, and I press OK. So this is saying like this because of the formatting. So I think this formatting now the background color to it. Background always loves do it, yeah. So page setup and lights. The color should be this NFS. Okay. So this is going to come in now. This white line is the page train and showing for bedroom page one and page two, page one, page three, just like that. You can also see the showing as well. So I go to page setup and select all documents, and it should be back to the regular white. Okay. So that's page setup. Another thing with page setup is you can also go to pageless. Pageless means that you just have a document without there's no page one, page two, it's just one document, one old document. It's just like it shows here, just a old document. There's no page one, page two, page three. So it's like this. It's just one document. It's literally not showing the pages, it's just showing it as entire old document without no lines to differentiate between page one, page two, page three. Now it's back to that. So that's pageless and page setup. This one is voice typing. So voice typing allows you to you can work with your documents without you thinking about without with you talking. So you can be talking and Google Docs be writing it down for you. So for example, okay, to do a voice typing, you set in tools and you say voice typing and you click here to speak, you give it permission to use a microphone and so container shares resources on and it just types it for you, just like that. So there could be some mistakes, like I said container and you said teachers. And I don't really get to police officer form. But yes, there could be mistakes as well. Okay. So that's voice typing. You just type, you talk and Google Docs writes in for you. So I think maybe the more clearer the person is, the better the results will comes out from it. Then code blocks. So code blocks I really needed when writing an article that involves codes. So for example, this one about scenario. So this is a code block here, and I write it like this because this are they wanted it, so they didn't really need a code block. But when it was being moved to afterwards, a code block. So to do a code block, you have to first of all you have to get this extension, which is a code block extension. And you can get it by going to extension, going to add-ins. I see get extension, get add-ins. When you get this, you move to the marketplace, Google Docs marketplace, and you check for you see code block here. And if this is the first time using, you need to click on install, give it all the necessary permissions, allow it to have access to, so you can write your documents in code blocks. So what code blocks does is, let me say for example, I'm trying to write this. So you see the different inputs. You select the document you want. I go to extension, I see code block here, it will appear here once you have done the installation. And you click on start. So you can pick the language you want to use. There are different ones. You just pick the one you want. And you pick a theme and format. It's not working. So you have now your documents in a code block. So the code block is also really useful. At least it tells the editor that this is a code and this is not a code as well. So grammar checks spellings. So besides using Grammarly, you can actually do your grammar checks right on Google Docs as well. So to do the grammar check, you come to tools and you see grammar checks here and tell you to check your spelling. Right now there's no available suggestions. So lost maybe make a mistake. So uh, you see it as shown on this line, but this Grammarly does work on Google Docs. So I go to file, I go to Shakespeare first, and it tells me this was so. This what is equal to spelling actually changes to this. I can accept. This should be accept. Similar should be this accept, and that's it. So even with a grammar, you can do a quick spelling check and grammar check on the blocks with Grammarly as well. But if you don't want to go all the way to Grammarly, before you can push it to notify your editor that you have done this or this. So you can always use a grammar check to quickly check that. Another thing is the word counts. So the word count counts all the documents or how many words your documents. This is when you guys always use it when you're trying to reach a particular. So let's say you have to write a word, you're trying to write 250 words, and you want to make sure you don't do more than that. So it shows you the number of words you have here, but it should not includes literally every word here. Say for example you have a title. The title is technically not part of your word count, but it is showing us 360. It's, but it's actually 205 and not 206 words. So why is showing you the numbers? The number says it's literally every word on your document. So get a specific number, maybe a particular block of this. You don't select a block of this. You get it. And it's not counting your headings. It's showing just the number of words of you have actually written. So you can always use that as well. Then preference. So what preference does is if you go to tools, you see preference here. So what preference does is it allows you to do substitutions. So let's say every time you write a particular word, you want it to give you something else. So whenever I write a word, um, um, I write the words Google, I want to always make it. I click OK. Okay. So I come here and I put. It makes it easy for me to do the words. You can also do it for stuffs like even websites. Whenever you put a word, this so I put um let me put whenever I put the word home, replace it with okay, so I put our website. So let's what's the website to this bootcamp? Let's let's not call it again. So okay, let's say I put this. So whenever I put I tell you that whenever I put the words TW, so in um in this like take item. So I always want to put in a link. I guess just write this and I put okay. So whenever I come here and I put in this TW, Yeah. This is it. Problem was the capture later. What I wrote at started with small cell later and outside the capture later. So you should have to be sure about. So I guess it's case sensitive as well. Remove this. This. Okay. Right. So that's something you can also use. So even be there's something that you have to put for your currently. Like for example, that Google Chrome guides. So whenever you put Google Chrome, you should make sure that you actually spell it. Letter G, letter C. You can also add it to your preference and you just watch it do it for you without you even taking notes of what's happening. Then lastly, we have the explore feature. So the explore feature allows you to so I come to the source and it says explore here. Sometimes it also shows in here, but I can't find my thing. So I come here to explore. And what explore does is it allows you to check for stuff on the internet. So for example, let me say I checked about virtual machines. And I want to add this as I want to reference this or reference this document. I can come here and use the citation as footnote. I can also come here and I pick one kind of citation from the page. So say APP. Usually is writing academic level. Sorry. So I go to I want to use this or everyone to use Chicago. And I want to reference this. I can click on this. It's equals to number one. And if I go down, it's showing me the reference. It has already referenced it for me. But what actually is it? So right now I have containers. I can go to image here and I want to put an image about um, so I want to add maybe this image. I come here and I can click on the image I want and just drag it here. And it's already in my document. So without me opening a new tab, going to Google, I can search what I want here and simply drag it to my document. That's if it's something you're just picking from online, however. But if it's something in your drive, you can also come to your drive and pick for what you want and you place it in your document as well. So that's what the export was. It can actually save you. Then we have the collaborative feature. So I don't know, does anybody have a laptop? I need somebody else to display. Somebody else has a laptop. Hello. Anybody with a laptop? So what the collaborative feature does is it allows you collaborate with outsiders or to share your document with others and to do your document. So at the moment, my document is private, it does me. You can see this padlock. So it shows that only me have access to it. If I click on this share, I can share it with others. So right now, sharing I'm the owner of the document. That means I created the document itself. Not that you actually wrote on it. It just means you created the file. And you see general access. I can click on anybody with the link. So anybody with link who will be able to view it as long as the person has the link, the person can view it. So the person has a viewer access, a commenter access, and editor access. If you don't use anyone the link, you want to make it still restricted, you can always add someone's email. Yeah. So for example, let me yeah. So I give this my email now. So notify me means it should send me an email that if I just share the document with you. I can always add something to the email. Please check this out. I effort everywhere. Okay. I can give you what kind of access. So let's look at the viewer access and then we'll see how the problem plays out. So these are the viewer access though, so I send it. And if I open the file here, so this is my email, and let me refresh this. Yeah, so this is, and it shows now that I sent this, and I gave you this is the message I sent. It's showing me that this will send you the message, and it's writing to view this document. So if you notice that view, because I only gave access to view document. So I click on open, and this I view right comes in. So whenever we say submit to assignment, it will actually mean send a view right. Most of you should give an edit access. Because if view right only gives us this is what the view right does. It shows that I'm on the file and I can't make any changes. Even though I can't type. It doesn't give me the options of see the options here. See the edit doesn't have all those options. That means I can't do anything. I can only look at it. That's all I can do on this document. I can only view it. If I show chart shows I can actually send a message with whoever with someone in the team. Okay. So right, this is now I'm gonna do any shots and I run the shots here. So I can always to make it even better, if I don't want to give you a view, right, I can give you a comment, all right. So you'll see the difference. And I click on save. The commenter right, what it does is a little bit different from the view right, but it still doesn't give you full access like an editor. Like you notice now, these are not showing. All these options are not showing. So that means I can leave comments. I can change the formatting if you made a mistake. So for example, if this was supposed to be not a title, an H1, I can come and make it an H1, not a title. And you see, comes out as this what this person has done. And if I don't want to have this, I can delete this and stuff like that. Maybe I can leave a comment. People select this, and you see this add comment, and give it a comment. So I'll move this link and click on comment. So if I come back to my document, it shows me all the comment that was done. So this is only one usually when you see a document, if an editor works on it. And I can either accept or reject it. So accept means we accept whatever changes I've done. So I accept it. And for example, like this one, I can reject it. So maybe I want to see how this. If you made a mistake, I do a Control V and back. And I click on accept. So see, it deletes whatever to remove the link. So I can also reply this message by saying done. Reply. And go to remove link. And if you have resolved this comment, you can always click on this. That means you have resolved this discussion. And the discussion is gone. To see other discussion, I always come back and see the comment history. And this is what comments that were made. If you feel you made a mistake with a comment, you can come here and see what was done. So then the last one is the editor access. So the editor access allows me to I can view, I can comment, I can also edit documents. So this is where between an editor and a business. So right now I have an editor access. Let me refresh this document so it reflects. And this editor access. So you notice last time when I clicked on something to do something, like I want to change this to an H1. Let's say I'm making an H2. So it just changes to an H2 without me even asking you for permission. Or whether this is what I want to do, you can either accept or reject it. It just does it. I can just come here and delete it. But if you are trying to edit someone's work, it's great that you don't know you can change it to be a comment size of it does change. So for example, if you want to remove this, I know just want to remove it. I want to also get your feedback on you think you want to remove, because at the end of the day, it's still your work. I can always come here and click on suggest. So I'm only suggesting that's okay. So now I'm not suggesting. So I come here and say Google is what. But if I have made this a viewer, if I made this and left this as editor, this is what happens. So it's like I'm actually writing view. Is it different? Okay. See, in this other one, it didn't even show that I made a change to it. The only way I will know is if I come to my impression history. Yeah. And I can see oh, this person say this is what I wrote. What is showing green? That's what I wrote. What is showing purple is what this other person wrote. That's the way I often know that's what made it change to my documents. But with the suggestion, you actually see what can actually see that oh you made a change here. I can either accept or reject, or if it's a comment, I can give a reply to why I picked this and not why I wanted this. So that's something to have in the back of your mind. So that's simply the sharing and collaborating. Then other stuff is the admin and assigning and commenting. So I've looked at commenting. There's also the assigning. So assigning is, for example, can anybody share that email with me on the chat? Anyone? Maybe Elizabeth.
Yeah, I'm sharing it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this. Okay. So let me say Elizabeth an editor. Uh, I added this document. This I want to give it on to put a comment. So let me say this is an editor and they're editing my work. I'll give add a comment on this image and be like there's no made reference for this, or what do you think? And like I would tag Elizabeth, so assign to Elizabeth and assign. So now it's asking me because I'm assigning Elizabeth, which is not part of the people, the documents in the document file. I cannot assign that to. She say a fellow editor asked me, so she has access to read it, and I comment. So now I've assigned it to Elizabeth. So like, what do you think? So it's assigned to her. So she'll I reply it and say, oh, okay, I don't think we need this. Or so that's a way to also assign it to a particular person. If you feel like, for example, yeah, for example, like this. I think there's an assignment done here. So yeah, so was assigned to this person. Like I this was assigned. Like you can work on this. So you can assign a document to somebody as well. Then lastly, the admin access. So admin access is when you share document with someone, they might be stuff you don't want the person to. So for example, I'm set now with Elizabeth. I can always remove access again. I could transfer ownership. So ownership is like now it's going to appear. The document will be moved from my Google Drive to Elizabeth's Google Drive. Even when I'm sharing it again with somebody, so let's say for example, I'm sharing it with Blessing. Send it as an editor. I can come here to settings and these are the default settings. So that means the editor can set permission to change permission. So for example, she can even remove an editor from the list or move somebody else to be a viewer. So by default, I can untick this. That means I only give you access to the editor, but you also do not have access to remove somebody else's access. Only me, so I'm the owner of the document. I can also untick that. I can also untick this that maybe the person does not have access to download, print, and copy. So this is usually for like where it's a very sensitive document and I don't want you to download it. So I can also remove this access, right? So this is also something you should note that you can also go a little bit further, even though you have shared document with somebody, you can always set limits what the person can do with it. Can she also share it again? You can also untick all of that. But by default, if you just click on send, the person has access to all of that, except you change all the settings. Okay. Then you can we've looked at editing as an editor, which has to do with commenting, assigning it to other people as well. So emailing this document. So for example, we have this document, I want to email it. So whenever you share a document, for example, and I come here to copy this link, so it depends on the link I'm using. The link I'm trying to copy, can anybody comment on it? Can everybody does view it? So I can click on copy here. That means everybody can comment on it. And I go to done. And this, and I can share this link. So now anybody that opens document can comment on this document, even though I've not added your email. Or everybody can view on it and all of that. So that's something you gotta do. And if when you're sending an email, you can always still limit it to what can the person actually do with it. So for example, in the email, you can also use it again, and if where you copy it, you can always change the email and change maybe you want a different text here. So you can always this is the email you actually share with people. Sure. Okay. So another thing again is so email document. Another way you can also email document is by beside you copying the link and pasting is you just email the document link here. Yes, it's email. And email this file. Or email us collaborators. Collaborators are people that are viewing it. Yeah. These are your collaborators. What collaborators. So let me type here, comment collaborators. And yeah, so it's going to send this file to these three people. This is just my email. So I don't think I click send, right? Yeah, okay. So I come here to look. So I say, oh, this is a draft for my container glossary. I can send the email here. So I need to send this email to everyone. Click on send, and it sends the email to everyone that has this file. If everybody goes to the message, they see it. So that's one way to do it. Another way to do it, you can also email it to if you're emailing to other people. Let's collaborate. So I've looked at this. I may email this file, and you can comment to giving a different email that's not even included, and include the email. And should you attach it as a PDF or what format do you want it to come as? Okay. Then lastly, you can always download your file. You come to file here and you can download it here, either as a Microsoft Word, as a PDF, splinters, as a zip file, or a full EPB. So this two are actually very handy for, so whenever you put a picture here in Google Docs, it's going to be very hard for you to copy it, to get a copy of it. It might be very difficult for you to get a copy of it. So most time you might need to download it. If I download this now as this, not this, I download it as a zip file. If I download as a zip file, I can see it here. These images. So you usually open say an image here. And these are the images in this document which I can now extract and maybe we'll send it as well. So that's all for Google Docs, right? So I don't know if there are any questions or can stop presenting.
Thank you very much, Benny. Please, I'd like you to explain those when you're adding an image, there's some stuff that appear just below the image. I think it's kind of image settings or something, like text wrap and stuff. I would like you to explain them, please.
Okay. Okay, so we added this image, for example. And if I, so all of this, say these are test wraps, wrap tests, break tests, behind a test, or in front of a test. So if, say, if I put in front of a test, is in front of this test. It's like um, so it says the image is in front of this test. That's what it does. Like it's in front of my test. I can click on move with text or fix position on test. So what fix position on test means is going to be on this image. So even though this image goes down, it is the document is the image, the stuff doesn't move with it. If I click on image to be moved with tests, so if this test goes down, it moves along with it. That's what this stuff here does. But you can click your position. This one is small value, picking what size and all of that. You can also click on this one behind test. So the image right now is behind this test. So let's use this. Let's use a document that this one there was a front size to it that has a background. Um, so this one side has a background. So let's put an image here. So let me just get one from Explore. So I put containers. Just give me a minute.
Sure.
Yeah, so this image, this is not the containers we're looking for. PMs. So those are this. So I comp this and I move this here now. Okay, so you see it's entered in Visual Test. But if I don't want to do that, I think it's still loading. Okay, so this is it. Oh, this is not a okay, so this is so I come here and behind test means the image is not behind the test. So this one was not showing because of our test here has a background, has a test background. So that's why it was not showing. But this background here, there's no background for this test, so it shows here. There's also this break test. So that means it breaks the test. It's not like it's inside itself wherever it is. If I move it here, it will be before it will be like it should inside the test within the test that it moves in. If I move it here to wrap around the test is so you can have your test like this and like the image and the test shares the same space to this is what it does. And you can also go to if I reduce it, it appears a little more better. So I'll come and it's not look like it. And the last one is it's now part of it's like in that line. So the line is used for where you're writing the Google, where you're doing. Let me say I'm trying to write about how to use file, right? How to open a new document to Google Docs. So I come here and I put number one dot. Let's say click on file. But instead of me saying click on file, I want to have a copy of this file. So I come here. Let me just click on file. Then right. So I come here and I use example two new. I take copy of this. I copy this and I paste it here. So this is what this if that's what inline does. It's not like a line. It's like you're writing an image. It's like an image is part of the words you're writing. That's the difference.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much for explaining.
So are there any other questions? Okay, so if there are none, we'll be ending the session then. Right, so thank you for attending the session.
Thank you very much, Benny. It was very insightful. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.